If you correspond with Ralf on television, video, or telephone, audio, or you chat, text, or email him, you're giving him permission to duplicate it, rebroadcast it on any of the Take Your Life Back Today show broadcasts.
Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach. I'm the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you. Let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact. Imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin. You tried lifting your lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from opening it. You try banging on the lid to hopefully unsettle the dirt. Maybe somebody might notice and come down and dig down and help you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are probably people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when you're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind while you were abusing drugs and alcohol that you might take something that God had given away from yourself, called life? And if that's not bad enough, what about taking your life away from the people that love and care for you most? Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, husband, wife, children, even grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person that I just spoke about that waited and waited and waited until it was too late. Call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you, I will help you take your life back before your life is gone. Folks, why should you give your parents time before it's too late? Why? I'm pretty sure it's you. You are watching me. Excuse me. You are watching me this right now. And it's probably not the first time that you've watched me. Or you've maybe even heard somebody else say this. We blatantly choose to ignore the people who truly care for us and love us most, and we don't even know that we're doing it. A lot of times we take for granted that we have our parents around. That's me sometimes. I'm guilty of it. Guilty until last May 31st when my mother was killed in Shirley, Long Island, New York. I felt guilty as hell because I waited and didn't spend as much time as I could. Had I known that was her last day on earth, I would have spent more time with her. What we should need to do is to give all our parents, mother and father, equally priority, whether you're close by to them, whether you're even close to them, because one day it's too late, like it was for me, May 31st, 2016. Never have a wish better than this. When you're only 100 years to live, you should still give them time each and every day, because that 100 years goes quick. Humor me for a second while I was just trying to break it down as much as possible. There are 365 days a year. If you assume that your rest, toilet, eating, and sleeping time spent is 12 hours daily, that leaves only 182 days left in a year. You spend 8 hours a day at work for 52 weeks. That's 416 hours total. So that's 17.3 days, which means you have left 165 days. You spent at least 2 hours traveling, socializing, on an average per day, so that's 30.4 days a year. So now you only have 134 days. Miscellaneous things like birthdays, gatherings, chores, functions, unexpected things that require your attention, going to church, holidays, traveling for work, helping a friend to move, etc. I'll give it another 1.5 hours a day. That's 53.3 days left. All you have is 80 days left now out of the year, which means that time actually set aside for your mom and your dad is limited to only 2.5 months every single year. Can you do that? Can you spend 2.5 months every year with your parents? If an average person lives to 75 years, that means essentially you only have 7.8 years in your entire life to spend time with your mother and your father. Because because years of wisdom count for something. Growing up, I didn't agree with a lot of things that my parents did or said, but it was only towards the end of my mother's life when that I realized that she was actually the reason that I became who I am. She is the reason that I am successful, that I'm smart, and she is the reason that I am who I am. She is the reason to bring me closer to our Lord Jesus Christ. If you have that relationship with your mother and your father, this is the time to start rekindling. And folks, even if you've had problems, remember what I said. You only have approximately 7.5 years, if you live to be 100, in this life to spend with your mother and your father. Think about that. 7.5 years if you live to be 100, because all the distractions and all the other things in life take everything away from you. Therefore, folks, remember, even if they get you mad, they are still imparting wisdom to you. And as children, you owe it to really stand behind them. The greatest bond is always between a parent and a child. What is the real significance of the words next of kin? Your father was always your first hero. Remember the days when you used to argue in kindergarten and primary school with your friends, comparing which father is better, more important in life, and who has the better job? Think along the lines of, my dad can do magic with his thumb. He can make it all fall off, but my dad is a doctor. He saves everybody else's thumb. Somebody else might tell you. And this goes on until somewhere you're a little embarrassed by your mom and dad picking you up from school and sitting next to you in a canteen during your teenage years. Then you'll say at that point as a teenager, oh my God, my mom and my dad are so lame. Yeah, my mom and dad are the worst. He still calls me Care Bear. Don't get how he could be so lame. Yeah, ha ha ha. My mom cuddles me too much. I'm 16. I am a grown-up, you might say. And it goes on no matter what. Everyone seems to forget that your mom and your dad were your first heroes. Remember, your mom and your dad and you all need each other. You both need each other more than you even realize it. Parents know best that sacrifices are never easy for all the times they took emergency leave from work to send you to the doctors, washed hundreds of thousands of your clothes, spent time teaching you over and over and over again how to tie your shoelaces, how to do your tie, how to be a respectable young man, gave up part of their salary, saved up their salary, gave up something essential in their life so you can get to the latest games, ice skating, whatever. Taught you how to walk, remember that. Answered all your questions from your relatives on your behalf until you learned how to talk, and you couldn't even then stop talking. They know that sacrifices aren't as easiest and the biggest sacrifice of all. They are still sacrificing their time by not wanting to bother you on your busy work schedule. Even though they're old and need you most, they give you the time to not have to worry about them. Because wait till it will be too late is way too late. Think about that. If you wait till it's too late, those last 3 words, too late, is exactly what's going to happen. I'll just wait until mom and dad need me, you might say. Or maybe if they're in a wheelchair, that's when I'll start pushing them away. Or maybe, they can go another week without seeing me. Well, think about this. I am not going to sit here and wait for my father to need me. I make it a requirement to speak to him once a week. Remember, my mother was taken from earth May 31st, 2016, and that taught me a valuable lesson. And I want to instill that lesson into the children and the grandchildren, that you should always be there for family. Death waits for no man. It's your time. It's your time. When God calls you home, He will call you home. It will come suddenly and without any warning. Have you said everything you have ever wanted to say to your mom and dad before they go? Whatever's on your mind, start speaking up. I still, to this day, almost 8 months now, miss my mom tremendously. There's not one day I don't think about her. I have her profile picture on my phone. All my laptops have it. I cannot even go into the town of Shirley without thinking how this God-forsaken town took my mom and the people that live in it. That Shirley is where my mom went to heaven. Even though sometimes my mom could have annoyed me with maybe her conspiracy thoughts, I miss those days. And if I could do it all over again, I would listen to it each and every day. You know, sometimes we all say in life, if we can just hear the voice one more time. Just one more time, folks. I hear her voice in my mind and in my heart. I still have a father, although we live maybe 1,000 miles away. I make sure that I call him once a week, because when it's his time to go, or mine, it will come without warning. When it was my mom's time to go, it came without warning. And when it did come, it was too late. I didn't have a chance to say goodbye. Remember, spend time with your mother and your father, whether they maybe ask for it or not. And when they don't ask for it, it's because they don't want to disturb you. You need to make that time to spend with them. They count on you. I count on you to do the right thing for your mother and your father. I, to this day, miss all the nonsense and all the things my mother said that I shook my head sometimes. I miss hearing them. I would love to hear them. It seems so surreal that she's gone. It still feels like she was just here yesterday. It's another part of me that was taken. It's another piece of my heart that was chopped off. Hearing her voice will never be a realistic thing in my life. Don't let it be in your life that way. If you have a mother and your father, start communicating and seeing them as often as possible. Remember, out of 100 years, an average person, you and I, will only spend 7.6 years with our parents because of everything else going on in life. Make that 7.6 years the most important 7.6 years. Extend that to maybe 10 years, to 12 years. And that's only if you live to 100. Most of us won't. Let today be the first day that you concentrate on your mother and your father. And remember, we all have a day to meet God. Make the best of it while you're on earth. Call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise I'll help you take your life back. For your life is God.
but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there. Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Wrong. Just remember,